You're no longer just a juvenile anaconda, you're approaching adulthood. At over 15 feet long and still growing, you command respect, or at least healthy fear, from most creatures in your domain. No more small-time snacks for you. You've graduated to bigger prey, deer, wild pigs, even the occasional caiman that crosses your path, they're all on the menu now. As you grow, the jungle feels more crowded. You need a space to call your own, a territory where you can hunt, rest, and rule. You slither through dense jungle, crossing rivers, climbing over fallen logs, and navigating thick underbrush. Your ideal home? Secluded near water, rich in prey, but far from other predators. After days of searching, you find it. A quiet stretch of river, hidden beneath a canopy of trees. The perfect hunting ground. You mark the area with your scent, claiming it as your own. This will be your domain for the next chapter of your life. And speaking of the next chapter, it's time for something new. Mating. It's no longer just about survival. Now it's about passing on your legacy. As mating season arrives, you pick up the scent of a potential mate nearby. You follow the trail, weaving through thick jungle and dense swamp until you find her, a female anaconda. A beauty. The courtship begins, a slow and winding dance, your bodies coiling together in a mesmerizing spiral for hours. Finally, the deed is done. Months later, the female finds a secluded spot to give birth. Unlike many other snakes, she doesn't lay eggs, she gives birth to live young. Between 20 and 40 baby anacondas will enter the world just as you once did. But your role is over. You leave, never to see them again, knowing most won't survive their first year. Honestly, for an anaconda, there's no real difference between giving birth and pooping. Either way, you're just pushing something out and moving on. But let's get back to the fun. As the years pass and your body grows even larger, you start to feel the wear and tear of a life spent hunting and surviving. You're still powerful, there's no doubt about that, but you're not as fast as you once were. The boundless energy of youth has faded, forcing you to be more strategic with every move. Submerged in the cool river waters, you sense movement nearby, a capybara grazing at the water's edge. Normally, you wouldn't bother with something so small anymore, but today you're feeling nostalgic. It's been a while since you last took one down, and there's something satisfying about revisiting old instincts. You wait, completely still beneath the surface. The capybara inches closer, unaware of the predator lurking just below. Then snap! Your coils wrap around it in an instant. Within moments, it's over. You've still got it. But as you swallow your meal, something feels different. The thrill of the hunt is still there, but it's not the same. You've changed, not just in size, but in thought. One day, you spot a young deer near the water's edge, muscles coil, ready to strike. But just as you lunge, something goes wrong. The deer senses you at the last second and bolts. You try to chase, but your body doesn't move as quickly as it used to. You miss. The deer escapes. It's your first failed hunt in a long time. But this time it feels different. The exhaustion runs deep in your muscles. The weight of the years presses down. You slither back to the water, knowing the truth. It won't get any easier from here. In the end, most anacondas don't die in battle. They simply grow too slow, too tired, and eventually the jungle reclaims them. You're just a juvenile anaconda on the cusp of adulthood. You've grown into a size that demands respect, or at the very least, a healthy dose of fear from the creatures in your territory. At over 15 feet long and still growing, you're becoming an undeniable force. The days of small-time snacks are behind you. Now you've graduated to bigger prey. And by bigger, we're talking deer, wild pigs, and even the occasional caiman that dares to cross your path. As you grow, the jungle becomes more crowded, and you realize you need a place to call your own. It's time to find a territory, a safe haven where you can hunt, rest, and thrive. Slithering through the dense jungle, you explore every inch, crossing rivers, climbing over fallen logs, and weaving through thick underbrush. Your ideal spot must be secluded, near water, rich in prey, yet far from other predators. After days of searching, you find it. A quiet stretch of river, hidden beneath a dense canopy of trees. Perfect. You mark your new domain with your scent, claiming it as your own. This is where you'll spend the next chapter of your life. And speaking of new chapter, it's time for something even more significant: mating. It's no longer just about survival, now it's about passing on your legacy. As mating season arrives, you pick up the scent of a potential mate nearby. Following the trail through thick jungle and dense swamps, you finally find her. Another anaconda. A stunning female. The courtship begins, a slow, hypnotic dance, as the two of you coil around each other in a mesmerizing spiral. Hours pass in this ritual until finally the deed is done. In the months that follow, the female will carry your legacy forward. When the time comes, she seeks out a secluded place to give birth. Unlike many other snakes, she doesn't lay eggs. She gives birth to live young. Between 20 to 40 baby anacondas enter the world, just as you did years ago. But your role is over. You leave, never to see your offspring, knowing that most won't survive their first year. For an anaconda, there's little difference between giving birth and shedding skin. Both involve pushing something out and moving on without a second thought. But let's return to the real excitement. As you continue to grow, your body bears the marks of a lifetime spent hunting and surviving. You're still powerful, there's no doubt about that, but you're not as fast as you once were. The boundless energy that once fueled your hunts is beginning to wane. Now, strategy is your greatest weapon. One day, as you rest submerged in a cool river, you sense movement nearby, a capybara grazing at the water's edge. Normally, such small prey wouldn't interest you anymore, but today, nostalgia wins. It's been a while since you last took one down, and there's something oddly satisfying about returning to your roots. You wait, motionless beneath the water's surface. The capybara inches closer, unaware of the danger lurking just beneath its feet. And then, in a flash, you strike. Your coils ensnare the creature instantly. Moments later, it's over. You've still got it. But as you swallow your meal, you realize something. It's not as satisfying as it used to be. The thrill remains, but something within you has changed. You've evolved, not just in size, but in mind. Then, one day, everything shifts. You're stalking a young deer near the water's edge. Your muscles coil, ready to strike. But just as you lunge, something goes wrong. The deer senses you at the last second and bolts. You attempt to give chase, but your body doesn't respond the way it once did. You miss. The deer escapes. It's your first failed hunt in a long time, but this time it feels different. The exhaustion runs deep, your muscles heavy with the weight of the years. You retreat to the water, but deep down, you know, it won't get any easier from here. In truth, most anacondas don't die in battle. They simply slow down, grow tired, and eventually the jungle reclaims them.